Just when we thought the British taxpayer could finally breathe a sigh of relief, just when we thought the line had been drawn in the sand regarding the ex-royals and their endless demands, a breaking news story has halted the morning broadcast and sent shockwaves through the UK. It seems that the Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry, is not done with his crusade against the Home Office, and he is certainly not done reaching into the public purse. We have been told for years that the decision was final, that when you leave the job, you lose the perks. But today, a massive update suggests that the Just Harry narrative is about to cost us millions. We are looking at a potential U-turn that could see armed police officers, funded by you and me, acting as personal bodyguards for a man who lives in California, pays taxes in America, and spends his spare time mocking our traditions on late-night television. It is the kind of entitlement that makes your blood boil. Welcome back to the channel, the only place where we refuse to sugarcoat the reality of the Sussex situation. We dig past the PR spin to tell you what is really happening with the monarchy and those who try to exploit it. If you believe that British police resources should be used to protect the British public and the working royals, not celebrity exiles, then smash that subscribe button right now. We need to talk about what just happened on Good Morning Britain because the implications are terrifying. The morning television schedule was interrupted today by a significant development. Anchor Richard Madeley, visibly stunned by the update, announced breaking news regarding Prince Harry's ongoing, relentless battle with the British government. The headline, Harry might be winning. According to the report, the Duke of Sussex is believed to have secured a government review into his demand for armed security when he visits the United Kingdom. Now let's be clear about what this means. This isn't just a paperwork review. This is the Royal and VIP Executive Committee, known as RAVEC, instructing its Risk Management Board to completely reassess Harry's risk profile. For those who haven't been following every twist and turn of this legal saga, let's rewind. Before Harry and Meghan dramatically quit the UK for a life of commercial deals in California, the Duke had round-the-clock armed security. This is standard for senior working members of the royal family. It is necessary, but the deal, the Sandringham Summit Agreement, was crystal clear. When you step down, when you stop working for the firm, you lose the taxpayer-funded protection. An assessment back in February 2020 stated that his risk had significantly lowered. Why? Because he wasn't doing the job anymore. He wasn't representing the Queen. He was a private citizen living abroad. But Harry has never accepted this. He has sued. He has complained. He has called it an establishment stitch-up, and now The Sun claims that the process to reassess him is currently underway. Evidence has been taken from the government, the police, and even Prince Harry's own staff. A decision is expected to be delivered next month. If this risk management board decides that Harry still faces a significant risk, it would mean that every time he decides to grace the UK with his presence, the British public picks up the tab for a full-scale armed motorcade. Richard Madeley on Good Morning Britain framed this as a potential pathway for a family reunion. He said, "It could mean that the king is reunited with his grandchildren for the first time in 3 years." This is the narrative being pushed by the sympathizers. They want us to believe that the only thing stopping Harry from bringing Archie and Lilibet to see their grandfather is a lack of police guns. They want us to believe that this is a safety issue, not an ego issue. Richard Gaisford, the correspondent on the show, doubled down on this theory. He explained that these reviews are regular, but he added a layer of speculation that is quite revealing. He said, "It may be that word has come down that relations are thawing amongst members of the royal family, and it would be useful to have Prince Harry back with his family as well." Useful? That is an interesting word. Useful for whom? Is it useful for King Charles, who is battling cancer and trying to maintain a dignified silence while his son mocks the family from across the ocean? Is it useful for Prince William, who has made it clear he wants nothing to do with the brother who sold him out in a memoir? Or is it useful for Harry, who needs the visual association with the monarchy to keep his market value up in Hollywood? Let's dissect this safety argument because it is the cornerstone of Harry's legal battle. Harry has repeatedly said he feels it is not safe to bring his wife Meghan and their 2 children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, to the country he grew up in. He cites the security threat he faces. He reminds us that he served in Afghanistan, which is a valid point regarding his personal threat level in general, but does that justify full state protection when he is visiting for personal reasons? The High Court previously decided not to reinstate his automatic protection. The Home Office said it was pleased by that outcome. The government's stance has been that the protective security system is rigorous and proportionate. But Harry's reaction to losing that battle was telling. He said, "The other side have won in keeping me unsafe. I can't see a world in which I will be bringing my wife and children back at this point." That sounds an awful lot like an ultimatum, doesn't it? It sounds like emotional blackmail.
Give me the sirens and the outriders, or you never see the grandkids. It weaponizes the children. It suggests that the UK, a G7 country with one of the best police forces in the world, is some kind of lawless war zone where Harry and Meghan cannot step foot without a battalion of guards. It is insulting to the country. Currently, the rule is simple. If Harry plans to return to the UK, he has to give London's Metropolitan Police 30 days' notice. This allows them to run a case-by-case assessment on the Duke's security and risk. They check the intelligence. They decide what is needed. If there is a credible threat, he gets protection. But Harry doesn't like the 30-day rule. Why? Because it requires planning. It requires asking for permission. It strips away the spontaneity of being a VIP who can jet anywhere on a whim. He wants the automatic status. He wants the status that says, "I am important, regardless of whether I am working or not." The GMB report suggests that if this review goes Harry's way, we could see a lot more of him. But do we want that? Since Harry quit his life in the UK, he lost Frogmore Cottage. He has no base here. He has only returned a handful of times on his own, for court cases mostly. His family has returned on just a few occasions, most notably for the Platinum Jubilee. Remember that? They rolled down the window to be seen, but they didn't get the balcony moment. They didn't get the fanfare.
Archie and Lilibet remained in California when Harry and Meghan were in the UK when the late Queen died. They weren't at the funeral. The distance between the king and his grandchildren is growing by the day. And while it is tragic on a human level that a grandfather doesn't know his grandkids, we have to ask, is paying millions in security costs the right price to fix a family feud that Harry started? The timing of this thawing relations narrative is also suspicious. We just saw reports of Harry mocking Donald Trump and the very concept of monarchy on Stephen Colbert's show. Does that look like a man trying to reconcile? Does that look like a man who respects the institution that provides the security he is demanding? If Ravek decides that Harry's risk is significant enough to warrant automatic support, it sets a dangerous precedent. It opens the door for other non-working royals to demand the same. Prince Andrew lost his armed protection. He is a controversial figure, yes, but he is also the king's brother. If Harry, who actively attacks the family in the press, gets his security back, what message does that send? It rewards bad behavior. It says that if you scream loud enough, sue often enough, and threaten to withhold access to the grandchildren, the British establishment will crumble. The Sun claims that the process is currently underway and that evidence has been taken from Harry's staff. One can only imagine what that evidence looks like.
Likely a compilation of mean tweets and paparazzi photos presented as a life-or-death threat. We must also consider the cost. This isn't just about a couple of bodyguards. Armed protection involves reconnaissance, vehicles, intelligence support, and shifts of highly trained officers who could be out fighting real crime. The Metropolitan Police is already stretched. Asking them to babysit a prince who voluntarily left the country to make Netflix documentaries is a misuse of public funds. Richard Madeley called this news huge, and he is right. It is huge because it signals a potential capitulation. If the decision next month goes in Harry's favor, it will be spun by the Sussex camp as a massive victory against the cruel establishment. They will say, "See, we were right. We were in danger." It validates their victimhood narrative. And what about the king? If Harry gets his security and if he brings the children over, Charles will be put in a very difficult position. He loves his son, but he cannot be seen to condone the attacks on Queen Camilla and the Prince of Wales. A reunion under the umbrella of taxpayer-funded security might look good in a headline, but the reality behind palace walls would remain icy. You can protect a prince from a physical threat, but you can't protect a family from the betrayal of trust. This review is the result of Harry refusing to take no for an answer. He has battled the High Court. He has battled the Home Office. He has spent huge sums on legal fees and forced the government to spend huge sums defending its position. It is a war of attrition, and it seems the government might be blinking. The argument that his risk is lower because he stepped down is logical. He is not at official events. He is not a target for terrorists in the same way the working royals are, who represent the state. Harry represents Harry. He represents Archewell. He represents a commercial brand. Corporations pay for their own security. Celebrities pay for their own security. Why should a non-working royal be any different? The suggestion by Richard Gaisford that this could lead to a thawing feels optimistic at best and naive at worst. Security guards don't fix broken relationships. Armed police don't erase the words written in spare. If Harry comes back with a motorcade, it won't change the fact that he sold his family out. In fact, the sight of him flashing around London with a police escort while William and Kate are working hard to serve the communities might just deepen the resentment. The public will see the disparity. They will see one brother serving and the other brother taking. We also have to look at the establishment stitch-up comment Harry made. This reveals his mindset. He believes there is a conspiracy against him. He believes the men in gray suits are out to get him. If he wins this review, will he apologize for those comments? Will he admit the system worked? Unlikely. He will take the win and likely ask for more. The decision is expected next month. That means in January, we could be starting the new year with the news that the Sussexes are officially back on the payroll, at least when it comes to protection. It is a sobering thought. Let's not forget the government spokesperson's quote, "The UK government's protective security system is rigorous and proportionate." Proportionate is the key word. Is it proportionate to give state protection to a man who lives 5,000 miles away and visits maybe once a year? Most would say no. If this review grants Harry his wish, it effectively erases one of the main consequences of Megxit. The deal was, you leave, you make your own money, you pay your own way. Slowly, bit by bit, Harry is trying to claw back the benefits while keeping the freedom. He wants the half-in, half-out model that the late Queen Elizabeth explicitly forbade. So as we wait for this decision next month, we have to ask ourselves, are we witnessing the slow return of the Sussexes? Not as working royals, but as state-sponsored celebrities? And if so, are we, the people, okay with footing the bill? Richard Madley's interruption of the broadcast was warranted. This is a pivotal moment. It changes the dynamic. It removes the safety excuse Harry has used to keep the children away. If he gets the security and still doesn't bring the kids, what will the excuse be then? We will be watching this story like a hawk. The moment that decision drops next month, we will be here to analyze it. But for now, the prospect of Harry regaining his armed status is a stark reminder that in the world of royalty, no doesn't always mean no, especially if you are willing to sue the government to get your way. What do you think about this breaking news? Should the British taxpayer pay for Harry's armed security if he visits the UK? Do you think this is really about safety, or is it about status? And if he gets it, do you believe he will actually bring Archie and Lilibet to see the king, or is that just another bluff? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is a topic that affects our wallets and our principles. Don't forget to like this video if you believe the rules should apply to everyone, even princes, and subscribe to the channel for the latest updates on this developing story. The fight for fairness continues. Until next time.